Hey there! For the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about inverse functions. Woo! So to determine what an inverse function is, let's review regular functions. A function is a relationship in which every input has a unique output. For example, here is a simple function, y equals 14x plus 45. If you look at the chart of this function, you'll see that each x value has its own y value. When x equals 1, y equals 59, when x equals 2, y equals 73, etc., so on and so forth. So what would the inverse of this function be? Well, an inverse is the opposite or reverse of something. Day is the inverse of night, sadness is the inverse of happiness, procrastination is the inverse of not panicking the day you have a final, not that I know from experience. Let's take another look back at this function, y equals 14x plus 45. As we see in the x values, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And the y values are 59, 73, 87, 101, etc. So how do we inverse it? We switch those values. Pretty easy. Before we move on, let's just take note at the little pens I'm using here, the colors. I found that one thing that motivates me to actually take notes is to allow myself to make them look pretty. You don't want to go too overboard because then you'll end up wasting your time. Making them a little pretty will encourage you to look back at them and actually take them. Okay, back to math. What we just learned is great if you have a table, but what if you don't have a table? Plus we still don't know how to write an inverse function, that's a little necessary. Step 1, we switch the x and the y. So now we will have x equals 14y plus 45, all topsy-turvy, I know. 2, solve for the new y. In other words, isolate the y and make it look like a normal function. Yay! Step 3, label your y as y of negative 1. Boop! That's how we know it's an inverse function. That's a step you can easily forget to do and get points off, so take note of that. Alright, you're probably getting sick of y equals 14x plus 45. It's not you, y equals 14x plus 45, it's me. Let's look at a few other examples. Okie dokie, here's a fresh new function, homegrown by your local family-owned function farm, y equals 28 plus 14. As you can see over in step 1, we switched out the x and the y, we solved for y, and then we made it y of negative 1. There you go. One more example, let's spice things up and use f of x. Ooh, getting funky. Oh wait, how do we write the inverse of f of x? Easy, f of negative 1 of x. Kind of a mouthful, but it looks nice on paper. Now you try. Find the inverse function of g of x equals 40x minus 18. Now should I let you pause the video here or just awkwardly wait till you're done? You done yet? Take your time, it's chill. Okay, it's getting awkward. I'll let you pause it. If you got g of negative 1 of x equals x plus 18 over 40, you would be correct. If not, you can go back and review the video. And don't be afraid to ask your teacher for help. Teachers are there to help you, trust me. Thanks for watching!